Okay, all right, hold up just a second.
Sorry, my language.
People keep telling me there's just pain and suffering ahead. Don't make your daddy problems everyone else's problem.
I mean, he was weird from the get-go. He was eating people in the Institute. Yeah,
That was red flag number 1.
No, I think she loves him.
Corey, damn, my good man. Like, literally it was all about Daddy Augustus.
Like, if you get a nose job here and you have a kid, the kid's gonna get your old nose.
Okay, so who all do you think's gonna die?
Welcome back to BookTalks Podcast. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
And in this episode, we are discussing Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. This is number 2 in the Red Rising. It says trilogy, but there's like 6 books out. And the 7th book is supposed to come out this year, but there isn't a date confirmed. So, sus about that.
I thought it was coming out in the summer.
I just Googled when is Red God coming out, and it said it has not been confirmed as of May 2026, but assuming end of 2026 or summer 2026.
If it were coming out in the summer, they surely would have announced a date by now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe end of the year, but even then I feel like they would have announced it, so who knows? I mean, we have a long way to go, honestly. I feel like they're really quick reads, but they're such heavy reads that like I need a break in between.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into it, this is a spoiler-filled episode. So if you have not read Golden Sun, you have to read it and come back because we're gonna ruin it for you. And then also I recommend watching our first episode, our review of Red Rising 2, because we uploaded that on our platform. So check those out. But let's hop into it.
Yeah. You finished it way before me. So what were your thoughts?
Well, so I feel like I liked Red Rising more than you did. So I feel like I'm more intrigued on your change of thoughts, because you gave Red Rising like a 3 and you were like, this is very boy-coded. I mean, I think this is still boy-coded, but you gave this a 5 stars.
I loved it. I don't know if I was just in a better mood or what it was, but I feel like Pierce Brown's writing improved so much in this book. Like it was like night and day. Like someone else had written this. Not that I'm saying someone else wrote it. I'm just saying he improved so much from the time he wrote Red Rising to this one. And I think the other thing that maybe helped is just, the world a little bit now. There's still things that I get caught up on, like when they introduced the Stained, and then I'm like, okay, the Stained are not the Peerless Guard or whatever. Like, I don't know. They have all these different terms for sometimes similar things. Like you have the Knights, but then the Peerless Guard and the Golds. And I'm like, aren't they all Golds? I don't know. So like, I still get confused. I don't have the world down yet, but it helped to have Red Rising as a background. And I apparently like plot-driven books, because this was all plot, completely plot-driven, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I loved it. I think I said in my review about the character development that we don't see a lot of like character development in the sense that like I would like to see more of Mustang, but Pierce Brown's still building the world in this book, and he's introducing all these extra side characters, and you get a little more pieces of different people. And I feel like Darrow still is being developed in this book. Like the scene in the mines when he confesses to Mustang basically everything and they have that moment. I feel like we're going to need a whole 10 to 15 minutes to talk about that scene because it was so good. But like that scene, that shows how much he has developed from the first book in Red Rising. So anyone who says there's no character development, try again. There is, but I will admit it's plot heavy.
I feel like Darrow's character development like sneaks up on you. I feel like he does a really good job of showing you instead of just telling you like, oh, he's changed, he's done that. Like he really just shows his actions instead. And yeah, no, I just feel like I guess I like the plot better. Again, like we hopped into Red Rising, we're like, what the hell's going on? This guy has plastic surgery. He goes to a school. We think he's going to get sorted into a magical house and make all these friends. And instead he's like cutting people's ears off and almost starving. Like it was just, and also Well, and I feel like the only bright spot of Red Rising that I really liked was Mustang, and you don't like Mustang.
No, I love Mustang. I just don't trust her.
You still don't trust her. I trust her. I feel like she has not proved us wrong. I mean, I didn't love that she like hopped on the boat, or I keep thinking it's a boat, but they're like ships. They're like spaceships.
Uh-huh.
But she hopped up and left as soon as she found out like who Darrow was. But I still trust her. I still think she's loyal. She has never turned on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did get together with Cassius, which was such a slap in the face to Darrow. I was like, ugh, rude. And I know she had a plan or whatever, but still, I mean, not just dating his ex-best friend, but dating his enemy who's sworn to kill him. I'm like, come on, that's a little unkind, Mustang.
I feel like Darrow doubts her so much, and despite that doubt, she's still there for him. Like, even in the first book, he, like, thought she betrayed him to go with her twin brother, and instead she tied up her twin brother and, like, gave him to Darrow. And then...
It's suspicious, though, how much she simps for Darrow. It's suspicious. And I think me and Darrow on the same wavelength, like, something here is not adding up.
She brought his pack to him.
I know. Don't you find that suspicious?
No, I think she loves him. I disagree.
No. I think she does too. I trust her way more now that Daddy Archgovernor's dead, because I feel like he was the roadblock for her, because she's like, Darrow, you're going to want to kill my entire family. And like, even though my dad's not a great person, he's still my dad. Well, now that Daddy Archgovernor Augustus is dead, she can now safely come back to Darrow, and they can be on the same wavelength and like break the chains, make the society better. So I'm glad Augustus died so that she can come back to Darrow. But as of right now, we don't know kind of what she's thinking, because at the end of the book, she just turns and leaves and we don't hear from her again.
Well, it's a good thing she did turn and leave, because she would have been captured. I would say the first 50 pages of this book, I wasn't getting into it. We were like, he's working for the Archgovernor. Mustang wasn't there. He's like at some other war college that we kind of got very loose information about. He has like shitty friends because we don't really know who they are. They're like all new side characters except Rogue. And so it took me a minute, and I would say it wasn't until he decided not to blow up the party that I was like, okay, like, let's lock in.
The side characters at the start were very confusing because he kept referencing them as if they were at the Institute with Darrow. And it makes me want to go back and reread Red Rising and be like, were they just so minor? Like, were they even mentioned? Or is this just like, now we know they were there, but at the time we didn't? I don't know what it is, but I mean, I know what Antonia was there, which what a bee. I mean, sure, her mom and sister in the okay, we'll get to that. But anyway, can't stand Antonia. Like, I'm pretty sure Tactus was at the Institute with him. Was Victra?
No, I don't think Victra was.
Okay.
I think Tactus was, but I don't think Victra was. I think Victra's a little bit older. I don't think she was. That's like I do think, because like Tactus would reference the Institute, and I think Tactus was in charge of another house that he took down. I forget.
Okay.
Should I just ask?
Ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What happened in Red Rising? Were they underground at the start of the book?
Was Tactus in Red? Also, the political system, I'm still wrapping my head around, because like we have the archgovernors, and then we have this woman who's in charge of the archgovernors.
Mm-hmm. The sovereign.
Yeah. Whenever the sovereign took Darrow, I was like, just go with the sovereign. Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have gotten a lot more done for the Sons of Ares in like the sovereign's wheelhouse, which, I mean, the biggest plot twist was that Fletcher is Ares. That was wild.
Okay. Did you care though?
Did.
Okay. I didn't really, like, even when he got killed at the end, I was just like, eh.
I cared. I always liked his interactions with Fletcher.
I just imagine Fletcher as this, like, kind of 40 or 50-year-old pudgy man. And so then he was described as a knight for the sovereign. I was like, how? Like, that's not how I was picturing him. Like, I was just imagining like a dad, like a normal dad bod, not like knight of the kingdom or whatever.
No, I wasn't picturing him like that. I pictured him like skinny and tiny, but like still a gold.
Hmm, I don't know. I
And
didn't
he's
really
Severo's
care.
dad.
Yeah, but Sevro's got a weird relationship with him. Severo was also a little weird in this book. Like, I still love Severo to pieces, but he's a little weird.
Oh, I think that's like his charm. No, I was like so shocked when like Fletcher was Aries because this whole time like no one knows who Aries is, and like even when Severos gets the message that like Darrow's a red, like is he told that his dad's Aries?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember, but I don't think so. But I honestly don't remember.
But no, I was so happy when they were all like working together and everyone knew everything. Like Severo knew, Fletcher knew, Darrow was like nobody be all together, blah blah blah, and then it all came crashing down.
Yeah. So the part I can't figure out about finding out that Darrow was a red is how did the jackal find out? Because at the very end of the book, when all the chaos is ensuing at the party, the jackal says to Darrow something about you revealed your true self to me at Attica. First of all, where's Attica? I don't know. I wasn't paying that close of attention. Second of all, I know Darrow was not dumb enough to tell the jackal, which means the jackal probably found out through other means. But for a moment there, I was like at first really pissed at Darrow. Like, did you seriously tell the jackal you're red? Like, you idiot. You deserve what's happening to you right now because why would you tell him? And then once I had time to calm down, I was like, no way. There's no way I missed that in the book. There's no way Darrow did that. Right?
I think he did. Thought is Attica the place where he like ran off to before the party, and he basically saved those like he saved that pink and stuff. Like I don't know. If, was she pink? I forget what color she was.
I don't know.
Remember how they like went to go bomb the warehouse and he like rescued that girl and then ran and found the people that were in the Sons of Ares. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Atticus and like somehow like Jackal knew that whole time and was hiding it. Rogue, I think he misspoke to Rogue and he said like what's the phrase they say?
Bloody damn.
Yeah, I think he might have misspoke
Instead
to
of
Rogue.
instead of gory damn.
And
Yeah.
maybe he told Jackal. Those were the two times I thought possibly. I mean, at the end, he was just getting very loose with it. I feel like he wasn't being as cautious as he was in the beginning of the novel in Red Rising, and I knew it was a matter of time it was going to come out. And I just knew the minute that Rogue wanted to freaking put the mask on, I was like, don't do it. He's going to do something. Like, he was being so sketchy and so weird. And I still think, like, Mustang kept on saying, like, oh, go talk to him, like, mend that bridge. I think he was long gone.
Yeah. Well, it was a complete repeat of Tactus, which again, I'm like, credit to Pierce Brown's writing to he did that a couple times where he brought things back around to something he'd written earlier in the book when they had kidnapped the sovereign's grandson and Lysander, I think is his name, and Tactus offered to take him to the holding bay or whatever instead of Victra, and then Tactus ended up betraying them and jumping off with Lysander. So then when Roke was like, I volunteer to put the mask on Darrow, I was like, no, this is a complete repeat. Like, Darrow, have we not learned our lessons about people volunteering? So yeah, that was like a red herring. If you were paying attention, you knew the betrayal was coming. But I mean, it sucked, but I really still like Roke. I mean, I don't think like moving forward you can root for Roke. No, you're giving me a face, but here's the thing. In book one, Roke, Cassius, and Darrow were like this brotherhood. And I actually made a TikTok video because it makes me very sad. And I know Red Rising, it wasn't perfect. Like, I have these rose-colored glasses on when I think about it, but I just think of, like, they were young boys. Like, it gives me this nostalgia for boyhood, right? They had their whole futures ahead of them. They're thrown into this impossible situation where first they're told to just kill some random person to even enter the institute. And so it's like their boyhood is being stripped away. And so they latch onto each other and they have this brotherhood and they're what gets each other through it. And so then, when Cassius falls away, it's like, okay, well, now he only has Roke. Well, now Roke's fallen away. It feels like a stripping of childhood in a way. Like, it makes me very sad. Like, they can never go back to those days. They've chosen their sides and they've got to live with it. And I'm just very sad about it.
But I still don't like him. I mean, he was like a whiny baby.
You think so?
He was all mad about a Quinn. It's like Quinn was a grown woman. She was part of the pack. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, she put her life at risk and she died. It was not Darrow's fault. Again, Darrow getting blamed for deaths that like he was not like it wasn't his responsibility. Like, yeah, Cassius' brother he had to kill, but like it would have been him or Cass. Like it would have been Darrow or Cassius' brother. Like, suck it up. It's part of it. You killed somebody too. And the same thing with Quinn. Like, obviously, like Darrow tried everything he could to save Quinn. He couldn't save her. Rogue, she's like, "Oh, I'm done with you." And it's like, also with Tactus, like he didn't know his mentor was gonna kill Tactus. Like he would have kept him live. He would have let him live.
Yeah, the Tactus death was crazy. But honestly, I feel like that was the point where Darrow really started changing for me in his recklessness, because I feel the Darrow from before would not have been like, Tactus, I'm giving you a second chance, because that would have been dangerous to kind of do. And Tactus probably might have just betrayed him again. So I feel like from that point forward, Darrow is kind of a different person. And it's because I think he wants to be a better person. He wants to do things differently. He wants to earn the loyalty and whatever else and change society. And so we have to see this character change in him. But it does make him way more vulnerable to betrayals and potential death and everything else. So like that part when he, was going to give Tactus a second chance, when he told Ragnar, and I like Ragnar, but I would have taken my secret of being a red to the grave. Like having several would have been enough for me. So when he told Ragnar, I was like, ooh, we are getting loosey-goosey here with who we're telling things to. But I mean, I guess it had to happen for bad things to happen to move the plot along or whatever.
I think him telling Ragnar was more on the sense of like trying to get him to be like, we are the same. Like you need to act the same. Like you are not my servant. You need to act like my equal. I don't need you as a servant. I need you as like a commander. And I was really shocked whenever when they landed in the mud. It was a really big turn. I felt like it was a really anxious moment. And they all got out. Well, not all, but like majority got out, and they gave the like sling, whatever these special blades to
the razor.
Yeah, they gave it to what is it called again?
Ragnar.
Ragnar and his like other companions. They're like, how dare you give him this razor? And it's like, I don't know, I just expected better of like Severo's posse.
Well, but even Mustang at the end, when they're in the mines, called him a slave and was like, don't talk to me, slave. Like they have been so brainwashed. Like even she has prejudice and she represents the best in the golds. So, I mean, I agree. I was as surprised as you. Like, surely the wolf pack wouldn't be so whatever towards Ragnar, and they were, but then so was Mustang. And yeah, I'm with you, I guess is all I'm saying. It was disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was to illustrate how messy Darrow was being. I mean, because we think he's being messy, but I think that was more of the reasoning behind that. I feel like Ragnar's a really good addition. I really liked his mentor that was teaching him everything.
Lorne.
Yes, Lorne. I really enjoyed Lorne. I actually felt bad for him. Like he just didn't want to be there.
Well, once again, I just didn't trust Lorne. I didn't
trust anybody.
I don't trust anyone. I made a TikTok video saying Lorne's going to betray him. Like, I just know it. Lorne's going to betray him. Because I think it would have been a really good betrayal to have his own mentor betray him. But then Lorne died, so I guess Lorne's not going to betray him now. But no, I felt really bad for him at the end. And again, it was like Darrow is taking blame for a death that was not his fault. But he's like, this is my fault. Lorne should be, enjoying retirement and being with his kids and safe and getting the peace he always wanted. And instead he's dying because of me. And it's like, Darrow, it's not because of you. It is because of this society that you're trying to overthrow. Like they have created this situation. Stop blaming yourself for it.
No, yeah. The ending just was like a punch in the face. Like I would say it was a lot of highs. Like you start off at really low. And then he's like working his way up. And then he finally gets to like being in a good freaking place again, and then he just goes down again. It's basically like a punch in the face. Everything goes to shit. I know it has to because we have a third book and a fourth book and a fifth book and a sixth book. But yeah, no, after the ending, I was just exhausted. I was like, I need a minute. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I also gave this 5 stars, but like, hot damn, it was just a rough ending.
Gory damn, my good man.
I was like, yeah, bloody damn, whatever.
That's the thing about the TikTok community, for the Red Rising community, because, I'm terrified of TikTok after everything that's happened, but I've been posting about my Golden Sun and Red Rising journey, and I only started doing it because I'd posted, like, one video about Red Rising, and so many people commented on it, and they wanted to hear more, so then I started posting more, and they're, like, super interactive, like, I could tell you literally their handles, they come back and interact with me, and they're so funny, though, because they will speak to you in a gold language and they'll be like, "You gory damn pixie, that's the thought of a pixie," or whatever. Yeah, like they're very funny and it's such a fun community to be a part of. But they were saying basically like their favorite moment from this book is in the mines when Mustang comes back and he has a chance to like make his case. And they're like, that is just like such a pivotal moment. And I agree because it's like finally the moment where the character development for Darrow really makes sense to me. It's like you start seeing him be more loosey-goosey with stuff, wanting to be more trusting. And it's like, here's where he's like, okay, Mustang, we have to take a stand. Like, what do you stand for? Like, are you going to just shoot me now, which you can do, and then keep things the way they are? Or are we going to change the society? And I hope she comes back and helps him change the society. I think she will.
I mean, someone has to rescue him, so I think it's her. I would say I thought it was really beautiful when his mom recognized him. That was really nice.
That's the only thing I kind of like. That's one thing too far for me, Pierce Brown. Like I can believe all this other stuff, but that was like he had full plastic surgery. His eyes aren't even his eyes. Like nothing about him is the same, and she knew. It's like, is a mother's intuition really that strong?
Well, she was told by his uncle that he got out. Because, I mean, yeah, it would probably be weird if, like, you think your son's dead and, like, he walks into your house, a completely different person, and be like, I don't believe it. But I think she knew he was out there and knew something had been changed and maybe just mother's intuition. But I thought that was really sweet. I felt like she, like, handled it really well. And I really, really wanted Mustang to walk in there. I was so upset when she didn't.
I know. I wasn't sure kind of how I felt about that because was glad Darrow got one-on-one time with his mom. And I feel like he got kind of the closure he needed on EO so that he can move on to Mustang. His mom basically said, the dead want us to be happy. So that's why we say basically like, you're allowed to love Mustang as well. So I think that conversation was needed and it might not have happened if Mustang had been there. But on the other hand, when she didn't come in and then Severo and Ragnar are blowing up his little phone or data pad, whatever it is. And they're like, should we shoot her? Should we kill her? And he's like, I'm kind of with my mom right now. Like, I don't know. I was like a little stressed. Like, okay, Darrow, I know you want to see your mom, but we got to make a pretty big decision here. But yeah, I'd hope she'd come in. But I will say, I'm glad she tricked them. She knew they were up to something and knew they were following her. And she tricked them and had like Severo chasing after a ship that she wasn't on. Like she ended up coming back to the mines to talk to Darrow. So she's just so smart. Like that's what I love about Mustang. She's just so smart. She's the brain Darrow needs. Like they really work best as a team. So they have to be together in Morningstar.
No, I love when they like just get each other and like people are like, did you talk about this beforehand? They're like, no. Like they just are on the same wavelength. So and another part that I really love is when Severo is like, you're actually smaller than me. And like,
yeah, I do think that would be a very weird thing to wrap my head around, though, as Mustang is finding out the person that you've kind of fallen in love with is actually not 6'2", but is 5 foot with red hair, like, it'd be like, wait, how do I reconcile this? I mean, I already thought Darrow did not have the identity crisis he should have. But now, like Mustang, maybe she is trying to process all that. As a woman, maybe she's got to step away from this to process it. I think I would have to step away too. So, but yeah, so speaking of stepping away though, everyone on TikTok was like, are you just going to jump right into Morningstar? I finished Golden Sun and 20 minutes later, I was in Morningstar. And I'm like, I need time to process this. It's actually been 2 or 3 days since I finished, and I'm still thinking about it. So, like, maybe all these comments are mostly from men, and I'm like, maybe it really is like a male-female difference where, like, I need time.
No, I mean, we have a lot of things we need to read too, but yeah, no, I just needed a minute. Like, it makes, like, it's a very anxious inducing book, which
Yeah.
is really enjoyable and it makes you want to, like, read the next chapter. But also, I'm a romance reader at heart, so I usually don't live in the anxiety realm.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I like this book a lot. I feel like it just made the series better. Like, I really was curious when we finished Red Rising because I have not looked up anything, so I had no idea like where this is gonna go, how, and especially like it seemed like an impossible task when he's in this academy. How is he gonna change this whole society? And you're starting to see it. Like, you're starting to be like he's starting within us, like a civil war basically within the Golds. And he's slowly changing the mind of people to accept like these other colors, especially like Ragnar's like hope. People like if he's able to turn Ragnar's people being like, you could like he could have them take on the gold. Like they
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Because for
Yeah.
so long they thought the golds were just untouchable and like they aren't. And that's what like finally it's making sense. But I still have
Mhm.
no idea where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know how it resolves. Like, I'm not sure who he has to kill to win kind of thing because enough of the golds don't want the other colors to rise up, right? We're seeing that in Rote, who is his or was his friend, was like his brother. So, he's not the only one, obviously, but he's the closest one that was to Darrow. But like, will it take killing the sovereign? Or is it going to take more than that? Because killing the sovereign's not enough to change 50% of the population's mind. Do you have to kill all of them? You just have to have them, like, what's the end here? I don't really know. I do think it concludes, though, at least what people said on TikTok. They said Morningstar does end and wrap things up. So I'm like, I'm not sure how that's going to happen, honestly, like how they're going to wrap the story. They say the other books like add to it and add more, but like Morningstar does wrap it up. And I was like, okay, not seeing how from where we're at now, but I'm going to have to trust you.
I bought Morningstar already. It's about the same size. These aren't that thick of books.
No.
And I'm happy for it. Honestly, like when it's like those 600-page books, sometimes it just like it's daunting to start.
Yeah.
So this is a very manageable thing to start and finish. I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. I have no idea. I mean, they've gotten so far in just this book, so he's just a really good writer. I feel like he describes things really well. I still sometimes am confused, like when we're in space, I'm like, wait, so where are they going? Where are we? We're in Saturn, but we're also in Mars. And then Earth is like sort of still there, and we're on a moon of Earth, I think.
I feel like those are details that don't concern me. Literally, at one point, they were describing looking at Mars, and they were like, it's blue and green, it's got oceans and white caps at the top and bottom. And I was like, that's not Mars, that's Earth. Oh my gosh, we've been lied to. Mars is Earth, Mars is Earth. And I make a TikTok video, and everyone's like, calm down, sweetie. It is Mars. It's not that deep. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to worry about it then.
Well, I got sidetracked, but going back to Darrow's plan and like where the next book's going, he lost the guy who pretty much gave him the plan. Like he lost Fletcher. And now he's literally on his own with just Severo. Actually, I think he's taken right now. So he's a captive right now. So I don't know how he's going to get out of his captivity. But once he gets out, he really is alone with Severo. He has no one to really guide him. So it will be curious where he goes with this.
The only person left that might be able to guide him would be Dancer. I think Dancer's still alive. And then also, I mean, his mom basically said his uncle might be out there, that his uncle fell down a shaft with someone else. And she's like, but knowing him, he probably is out there somewhere. And I'm like, well, wouldn't that be something if his uncle ended up mentoring him through this? I don't know how to feel about his uncle because, again, like going back to the first book, his uncle's not like a perfect guy by any means, but it would be nice for him to have, obviously, like you said, someone, because right now he has literally no one. I mean, the way he's going to get out of it, Mustang and Severo are going to have to come save him. And then from there, I just don't know where it goes. Yeah, there's like actually still so much in this book we didn't even talk about. I mean, we don't really have time, but like there was so much jam packed in this book. Oh, the revelation about what Io said to her sister right before she was killed.
Yeah. I don't think it hit me as much as it hit other people.
Hmm.
So I joined a Fable group that was reading Golden Sun. So like in every chapter, people were putting quotes that really touched them. I mean, EO was in the first 30 pages. Like I'm not that attached to EO. I actually
Mm.
thought it was funny that his mom was like, I never thought EO was good for you. I was like, ooh,
Dang.
it was like rough. I mean, obviously it's sad and it's like a big turning point for him. But it's hard because we didn't really know. Like, I'm not really attached to her and her child. At this point, I'm more like, you should date Mustang. Like, let's get that together.
Yeah, no. Io was the spark he needed to become the man he's becoming. Like, Mustang is the one who's keeping him grounded and giving him a reason to go on. Like, they each serve their purpose, but obviously Io's dead, so her purpose has been served. But I mean, I did like Io. I did think that revelation was big. I thought his reaction to it was okay, but then it kind of ended up not going anywhere because his whole reaction was, "All right, I'm gonna go blow up all the golds." And then 6 pages later, he's like, Actually, I'm gonna do something else." So I was like, it was a big reveal that kind of led to nothing, which I thought was a little disappointing. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a big deal and it made me sad for him because it's like, there was this life he could have had, but then I always think about the Hunger Games in that sense, right? Like, that was the whole thing about Katniss was she didn't wanna do the Hunger Games, she didn't wanna do the revolution, she just wanted to live the life she had, and then you had someone like Gale who was like, "Yeah, but the life we have sucks, like, there is a better way," and she's like, "No, no, I don't wanna cause any uproar, let's just go with the status quo." So it's like, Darrow would not have been he would have found happiness in his life, but there's so much more to life than that, and I think he's finally seeing that if he can change society, life would have way more meaning for all the other colors.
I mean, before he was above ground, he didn't even think there was an above ground. They
Yeah.
just thought they existed below ground. And like, that's so crazy to me. Like, I'm sure it's such a crazy thing for him to come back down and being like, these people have no idea there's an up ground. Like, they have no idea.
Yeah. No. But then I did think what his mom said was interesting, and like I said, I'm not sure how Morningstar is possibly going to resolve itself because his mom said something about, well, even if you free the colors, the reds aren't going to go up there. The reds will just keep mining. They're not going to change the way they live. And so I'm like, okay, so not only is Darrow battling the golds and their prejudice, he has to battle his own colors to be like, there's more to life. Let's do something with it. Like he's in a tough position. So I don't know. I don't know how Pierce is going to do it.
No, know what I actually think is the saddest color of them all? The pinks.
Yeah.
I think I read I read it quickly, but like they're like sterilized where like they can't even reproduce because like everyone wants to like have sex with them and then not have children with them. And that just has to be the saddest color to be. Like you just literally live to serve other colors and you can't even like reproduce with your own colors. But also like how do you guys have more pinks?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they keep some for breeding, which would be a really sick thought. The pinks also, did you catch how they train them to want to serve? Is that they implant something in them to cause them pain their whole lives until they come of age. And then once they start serving their people intimately, they reduce the pain so that they want to do those things because it means no pain. And I was like, that is just sick and twisted.
I actually did not pick that up. My
Yeah.
reading comprehension skills must have lacked there. No, I think they're the saddest color because, like, yes, the reds live in bliss below the ground, but they have no idea that they're in bliss. Like, they have no idea what they're missing. They're just living like kind of just ignorantly and happy. And I think, like, yeah, it sucks or below everybody else, but like, heck, put me there instead of being a pink.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna be a pink. I wouldn't yeah, I don't know what, color I'd wanna be. Oh, I'd wanna be a gold, obviously.
Yeah, I would be good. Like, they have the silver, whites, and coppers. Those are, like, the finance people. Oh no, the whites, I don't want to be a priest, but like the silver or copper, like coppers are lawyers, and then silver's just like businessmen.
You want to be a finance bro?
It's just you do what you know. Maybe I am
Yeah.
like the Reds. You just do what you freaking know.
I know. That's why I say, like, how is Pierce Brown going to change this society? Because people, like you said, they do what they know. And I mean, just because they're now going to have the freedom, they're still going to choose to be underground and mine or whatever else. And like the Pinks don't know any other way of life. Like, what else can they do? They're just going to keep doing what they do.
Heck, if I was a pink, I'd go down. I'd go down in mine.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know when we're going to read it, though.
For those who don't know, our book of the month book is Shield of Sparrows. So that is our current read after this. I'm going to try get it in at the end of the month.
Okay.
That's my goal because I am going on that trip and there's no like Wi-Fi and I don't really have like we don't have TV or anything like that. So and at night we'll be hiking all day. So at night I plan to just load my Kindle up with a bunch of books. So I might just do it at the end of the month. It's hard because I feel like after Shield of Sparrows, I'm gonna want to start reading the second book in that series. So
Yeah.
we're in a bit of a pickle right now with what we're gonna read next. I think we should take it a book at a time and based off vibes.
Well, and we're doing The Shippers by
But yes,
Catherine Center. Yeah.
but that
We've
will be
got so
quick.
much. Yeah.
The
I
shippers
did
will be
start
like a
I started Shield of Sparrows, and it's a
okay.
quick read, actually. I read, like, literally 70 pages yesterday, and I never sit down and just read 70 pages. It reads very fast.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to it last time. I do think when I listen to books, like especially fantasy books, I just like don't take it in. And I do think us talking the book out like cements it in my brain of what I read and what happened. So I do it like these podcast episodes, not even just to get them out, just for our own sake.
Yeah. Well, that's why we started.
It's just true.
We
Full
literally started
circle.
so that we could talk to someone about the books we were reading.
And we're like, let's put it on the internet. I guess one other thing I wanted to discuss was the fact that Severo's like a mix.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. That's why I say this book is jam-packed full of stuff. Yes, he is a true red gold mix. And so I was thinking, I put it as a TikTok video, but then after I did it, I started second guessing it. I was like, oh, well, now that Fletcher's dead, well, not Fletcher's dead, obviously, Darrow's going to have to step up and be the new face of the Sons of Ares or the new face of the revolution, whatever that looks like. But then I was like, honestly, Severo really actually represents what this revolution's about, which is that people are people. Like Severo's half gold, half red, and he's just a person. And he was raised to gold, but he's technically half red. So I'm like, maybe I don't know if Severo has the maturity to lead a revolution, but like Severo's kind of what it's about.
Well, I found it really interesting that his mom needed surgery to have him.
Yeah.
That
So
was interesting.
incompatible.
Yeah, but it also makes me think, like, if Mustang and Darrow ever got together, could they have kids?
Well, I think he can probably now because he's had the gold makeover, right?
I know, but does it change your genes? Like, I feel like it's like plastic surgery here. Like, if you get a nose job here and you have a kid, the kid's gonna get your old nose.
Yeah. I really don't know about the anatomy that we're trying to discuss in regards to gold and reds. But maybe Pierce Brown will answer it at some point. But I mean, they
Yes.
might not even want kids. Who knows?
Another side characters I loved, which was Pax's family, and it made me so sad that Pax died. Like, I think that's the death I still can't get over. Out of all the deaths, like, I'm most upset about Pax still, and his brother and dad, like, I love them so much.
Literally, Pax's death hit you and me so hard. People online are like, oh, if that death is bad, like, don't read the rest of the series. That's the least sad death of the series. I'm like, I'm still sad about it. His family is so nice. They are so loyal. They are so funny. Like, Pax is, I think about how loyal he was to Darrow. He died for Darrow. He would have just been an amazing general in Darrow's army. And it makes me so sad because he had so much life to live and his family's so great. But yeah, no, people online act like, oh, well, it's not even a big deal that Pax died.
And Mustang like grew up with Pax too. I don't think we even knew that history there until it's discussed further. Like Pax like basically no, Mustang basically was like raised at Pax's house, and I just wanted him to go home to it was his girl was like a wasn't like a big girl named Helga or something like that.
That's what I said in the last video. I don't know if that's right, but I was like, yeah, big girl named Helga.
He
His
just
big woman.
he just wanted to go back to his big woman, and yeah, I really liked his family. I don't think we met his sister and mom yet.
No, I don't think so.
But we met the dad and brother. Big fans of them. I think they are still loyal to Darrow and Mustang, and I hope we see more of them. And I think they'll be on Darrow's team once he gets out.
Okay, so who all do you think's gonna die?
I don't think Severo. Okay, I don't think Severo's gonna die. I don't think Darrow's gonna die because Darrow's the main character. He can't die. Severo is like his freaking Ron. He can't die. And Mustang, she's not gonna die. They're gonna have babies.
Okay. I think Severo's gonna die. Cassius will have to die. Roke will obviously die. Probably Pax's brother will die. I'm holding out hope that Mustang and Darrow live, but if one of them's gonna die, it'll be Darrow. And I don't know how that'll work because it's told from Darrow's point of view, but I don't know. I hope he lives. I hope him and Mustang live, but I don't think the rest. I think a lot of people will die.
Hope Cassius dies. He's like a little bitch.
Okay, all right. Hold up just a second.
Sorry, my language. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that.
The thing about Cassius, again, maybe I just have rose-tinted glasses on, but think about what he was thrust into at the Institute. His twin brother, Julian, is murdered.
Are they twins? I think they're just little brother.
No, they're twins. That's why they're at the Institute together.
Yeah, they're twins. I didn't pick that up. I picked him up as like a little brother.
That was the vibe I had too until I looked it up when I was reading Golden Sun. But his twin brother dies. He is probably in so much pain, grieving at the Institute, but has to just pick himself up and keep going to secure his future as a high-ranking gold. He has no time to grieve. It is so sad. And then his best friend betrays him. Again, like you said, if it wasn't Darrow who killed Julian, it would have been someone else. I mean, Julian wasn't gonna win whatever that match was. So I don't hate Cassius the way I think maybe you and some of the other community does. Like, I don't like him. I need him to die. I need him to stop going after Darrow. But I'm just sad about him and his pain.
I'm not mad at him for what he did in Red Rising. It said he's still holding this grudge. Like, he's had years to grieve at this point. Like, if roles were reversed in that battle, in that duel, like Cassius would have killed Darrow. But no, Darrow is the bigger man and didn't kill Cassius. And yet he's still the bad guy. Like and I bet you Cassius just got Mustang to get back at Darrow. Like, he's not a good person. He's so up his like parents' butt that he just wants to please them. He's not his own person. And also just like, I don't know, in Red Rising, he had such an ego and he just like needed to feed his ego. And his ego literally led to his house almost starving.
Well, what did you think about what he said right at the end about that? And Darrow didn't know what he was talking about, but he said to Darrow, like, you didn't just kill my family, like, you killed the children. And Darrow was like, what children? What do you think happened there? Do you remember that?
I remember reading that, but I didn't think much into it.
Well, I think someone else set, I'm trying to find the quote, but I can't find it.
It's Jackal.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Someone else set Darrow up. They went off script. They killed innocent women and children in Cassius' family to make Cassius continue to hate Darrow and have this blood feud continue. And because Darrow was like, what children? Like, what are you talking about? Which makes me think, yeah, the Jackal, which is funny because like I was starting to actually really like the Jackal. I mean, I knew you couldn't trust him, obviously, but like I liked his character. He was kind of that puppet master behind the scenes, pulling the strings. But then it just turned out, and I think this is kind of dumb. This is like, once again, Pierce Brown's a great writer, but this was kind of a dumb reason to have the Jackal be the way he is. He's just got daddy issues. Like, literally it was all about Daddy Augustus. I'm like, what is your you were 10 and feeling neglected, so you decided to grow up and be a psychopath? Like, don't make your daddy problems everyone else's problem.
I mean, he was weird from the get-go. He was eating people in the institute. Yeah, no.
That was red flag number 1. That should have been a sign.
Red flag number 1. Number 2, yeah, I mean, I knew Darrow had, like, no other option whenever he was, like, getting kicked out of Augustus's family, but he should have kept him a little more arm's length apart. Even Mustang was like, do not trust my brother.
Yeah. Darrow was way too trusting with the jackal. I don't want to say Darrow, like, set himself up for this, but I do think he's got this sense of, like, people will be loyal because, like, that's what's important to me. And maybe he's wearing those rose-tinted sunglasses and he needs to take them off. And he should have listened to Mustang at multiple times throughout the book, making amends with Roke, not trusting the jackal, whatever else she told him throughout the book. So, I mean, he needs Mustang. He's not going to win this war without her. And that's if he even survives. I mean, I can see him dying in the first chapter of Morningstar. Literally, the bad guys have him. I don't see how he's going to get out of there.
There is going to be 7 books. He's not dying yet.
Yeah.
He's literally Harry Potter. He can't die.
He is. Did you see that news article that Daniel Radcliffe was showing his son the first Harry Potter movie, and his son has no idea that his dad plays Harry Potter? And it's like, just think he's going to watch all those movies and the kid's going to start being like, wait a second, Dad. I think that's funny.
But overall, your opinion changed with this series. You like it significantly more.
I do.
I continue to like it. I do think it's still boy-coded, but there is a lot of emotion in it, and I would recommend it to all parties, and I'm very excited to continue it. I need like a minute.
I need a minute too. I think if you can get through the first book, this one is a million times better. And it's not that the first book is bad, but like if you get to the end and you're like, 3 stars, I don't know if I'm going to continue. Like, just go ahead and trust me, continue, because I would have probably continued it anyway. But after Kayla and I recorded the podcast episode, I was feeling real down on it. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know if I really even liked it. It's worth it to continue. So unless you're just like, oh, I hated it, I would say keep going. People keep telling me there's just pain and suffering ahead. But I'm here for it.
That's my only hesitation with going on TikTok. It's because I don't want to even go in with any expectations. Like, I want to go in just blind and just see where the road takes me. But I would say this was a really good pick for our first like full series of like going on YouTube and posting about it. And I'm excited to do the next book, Morningstar. I guess we leave it here. We probably missed some things, but again, this book was jam-packed. So this is Kayla.
And Marissa.
Have a good night. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at BookTalks Podcast and hit subscribe. And join our book club on Fable.